Nothing in this video is financial advice.
Hello crypto guys. So I figured that we'd do a short video here as we haven't done one in a while, and Bitcoin and the entire crypto market is here kind of on the edge in a very interesting place. And we're gonna do something that all of you have been super interested in the past, and it's related to the actual price and possible future price action. And what we're gonna do in this video is we're gonna take a look at the history of Bitcoin with the help of the tool called Fibonacci channels. And how does this tool work? It's that you gotta like draw trend line here so that we would mark here like this bottom and this bottom, and then we would extend it all the way to the prior high. And the results that we get is these kind of natural numbers of the Fibonacci sequence. These certain numbers here are something that you find from the nature. If you do a Google search, you can, for example, see that if I show you Fibonacci nature, like it's in all of these shells, and you can find it in the like flowers and everywhere in the future, more or less. So it's been kind of like researched and found out that the markets also tend to go with these kinds of like number sequences. But what we're going to do here today is we're gonna like have a look how Bitcoin is doing today in terms of not just this here, but we're gonna actually take a look at the entire price history with the help of the Fibonacci channels, and you're gonna see something super interesting in terms of where we are with the current price and where we are possibly headed. I can hint you the direction of where we are probably going here, but let's get that into a little bit later in this video. The main thing you can understand here is we're gonna use the help of the Fibonacci channel here. And as you can see from this first little draft here about the recent current cycle, is that which we drew with the help of this and this bottom and this high, is that you can actually already see that the current, like the second leg up here, is pretty much following the resistance levels and also the support levels you can find here in the price channels. You see, for example, from here we are actually getting some support from this level here, and here this one acted as a like resistance as well as in here. But yeah, as you might know, when you go through the resistance, it actually turns into support. So let's see if we can get up here in the future. But let's take the actual dive into the past of Bitcoin. This is a super interesting story I've been super interested about for many years so far. And maybe a few words at first, like why we are using the entire history here to conduct our analysis. And the reason is like in my actual daily work, as you might know, I'm doing data-driven marketing analysis, and what you start to learn when you get data-driven is when you go to the like largest time frame in like not only with the marketing stuff, but rather especially with the like charting stuff here, you understand that, for example, if we would be using the 1 hour view, this view here holds way less data than this view here. And the amount of data, like the more data you have, the more reliable conclusions you can draw from there. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the past here, see how Bitcoin has been acting based on the prior Fibonacci trend lines and how they are like playing out now in today's future. And for example, just like one super simple thing you could say from here is, okay, well, it seems that Bitcoin in the long term seems to be trending up. There are of course like super violent crashes every now and then here, and like this is just tragedy when this happens, but still more or less in the long run it seems that we are going up. And if you think about this from here, and if you look at it from here, or let's take this one, you really can't even see the resolution of these in the charts when we go to the, like here. This was super massive back in the days, but if you held through it, you don't even remember it anymore. And what was this, like 8 years ago? Something like that. It wasn't really that long ago. So yeah, I guess the short thing you can take away from here is that I myself, I'm certainly going to hold my bags. But let's get to the actual beef of the video here, which is like using the Fibonacci channels to interpret the data. So let's take this first cycle here, and as with the prior one, we're gonna do the same here. So take the bottom here, the second bottom here, and the top of the market. Now what's interesting here is that as you can see the like forecast it gives us here, we can see that the second cycle, when it got past this one, it just absolutely crashed entirely. The bull market, this second bull market was over by after the time that it surpassed this opposite line here. So that at least is one super interesting takeaway we can pick up from here, and something that you can remember from this point on. Let's actually see if this one thing would work here as well, like if this works as a trend line for future price action as a support. I'm gonna extend it. Sorry, I'm not. Yeah, let's see this way. It's not quite long enough, the trend line here, but let's actually clone it real quick like this. Yeah, so another interesting like pickup from here is that, like as you can see, of course one way to put like the start of this bull market here would be that after this high here, which would mean basically this part, that would mean like once Bitcoin surpassed this price here, the bull market started. But I would actually even argue that after this trend line from the prior Fibonacci channel here was surpassed, which is this line here, as you can see, we just drew it there. Once that got surpassed, that was the actual super confirmed point of start for this super big bull market here. And as you can see here, we can see even a confirmation test, like when the price comes down and it finds support on the level of the Fibonacci channel support line. That's the actual like bull market start, I would even argue. So that's one interesting point there as well. So what you can see is that we can actually interpret the future cycles based on the prior ones. This is where the past price action certainly holds a lot of weight in terms of like its data and its importance. So let's try another cycle here, and as you can see, the Fibonacci channel here is quite steep even, and let's see how does this look. So yes, and here as you can see, pretty similarly to the like prior one, what was the case with the prior, like this one, the cycle that we're currently measuring from, there when we surpassed the price of the top Fibonacci channel, the market actually crashed. But what happens with this bigger cycle here, interestingly, is that the price doesn't immediately crash, but rather it skyrockets even way faster. So this is the actual parabolic rally. But what we can draw from both of these like cycles is clearly that oftentimes the real parabolic rally that will in the end lead into the crash of the crypto market only comes after the top Fibonacci price channel here, as you can see, which is super, damn, my trading view seems to start lagging a bit. I gotta refresh the page in a moment. But yeah, and the other thing, as you can see, this is also acting as a price support here. The price floor here held all the way to the November of 2018 after the 2017 crash here, as you can see. And I would even argue that it was required that we would go underneath this, because this is the same trend line that really launched the parabolic rally phase in the 2017-2018 Bitcoin cycle. So you would actually have to go beneath this point, because markets oftentimes take the path of most pain. And why is that? It's basically because if there's not enough pain in the markets, people are not selling, basically the paper hands are not selling, and if the paper hands are not selling, you can't get the real price floor, because people are at that point incrementally dropping their positions. But now I'm gonna refresh the page so we don't get the lagging interface of TradingView. So yeah, that's one point from there. And then I want to take you to the current cycle here to see where we are. Now let's look at the big cycle in a moment, but before that I would like to draw your attention to this one, the one that started after the bottom was in from the 2017-2018 bull market. So let's use the help of Fibonacci channel here. Let's say we could use it on that level, or yeah, let's go with this one. Let's fix them in place, because the detail is actually super important here. And now where are we? Interestingly, we are actually finding the support, or I can't say we have confirmed the support at this point, but we did dip a little bit below this, which could mean that we would be going down. But as you can see, this price level here and the one where we currently are, we are actually on top of this. So it seems to me that this is currently acting as a support zone for the price. And just to be clear, there are other indicators as well that are supporting this price level and holding the price up currently. So what you can see here is that we already, if this would have been this would have been the end of the current cycle, I'd say that we would have gone through this way faster, and the bear market would have extended already. We wouldn't have seen the second leg up, but rather at the moment we're seeing the second leg up here, and it's finding support in this zone. Now it's totally another thing, if we're gonna get a head and shoulders like this here, and you see if these break down, it can be a quite devastating thing for the price, but that's not what we're focusing on here, because I still think that is quite a distant thing. It's a possibility certainly, but I wouldn't bet my trades on it and open any bear positions on Bitcoin or anything. So yeah, as you can see, we are kind of on the cliff here, and certainly the coming days and weeks are super important in this sense on where we are headed. But then the next question really is, where are we headed? And for that, I think we must see the price targets based on this bigger cycle. You see, the one that we just drew here is the smaller sub-cycle of this bigger one. So let's see. Let's put this in place here, like this. Is the top already? It's more than perfect. So what does this tell us? And this is the super interesting part here, the price prediction part, you could even say. And as you remember from the prior cycles here, this isn't the price prediction. What is this? Do you remember? This is the level through which, when Bitcoin surpasses it, the actual parabolic rally may start. So this is the start of the actual parabolic phase. We haven't even seen it yet. And here I would say it was a bit like lower based on the prior cycles. We didn't draw it there at any point in this video. We can do it in another one. But we didn't even see it. This was a parabolic rally of one sub-cycle there. And like the entire cycle here would be like, I don't know how this will like in the end go. Like, will we see something like this, or we will really see something like this, or maybe we go a little bit down. Maybe we even draw here the head and shoulders and we like resolve it and go up. And of course you really can't know if it's only up. We may drop a bit, but the point here really is that when the price gets to this level, no matter like how long does it take, when we go through this level here, it should be more or less like, as you can see from the prior cycles. I can actually increase the resolution here for the chart a bit. As you can see from here, was it this cycle? Yeah, it was this one. As you can see, like this is not the clearest one here, because like the resolution is, yeah, I guess you know what I mean. Like, let's do it this way. I actually just remembered there would have been the other tool which would allow me to draw the entire like line, like the unlimited length of line. That would have been handy if I had used it at first, but I already started using this line, so what you gonna do? Let's roll with this one. But yeah, the point here is actually that, no, it's actually here with this line. You can see that the rally ended after we surpassed this one, the one that we earlier looked at here. I think it started around here, or was it this one even, from the prior cycle. So the point is here in the bigger picture that the actual price rally can only start after we penetrate this line here. And I don't even have a clear price target here for the upper side here. It's only left to be seen like where we actually end up being. People are talking about like numbers in between 200k to 420 or even 500k. Some people are bringing up even larger numbers. That is not for me to decide. I'm just gonna follow the market, what it does, and yeah, we're gonna be following all that stuff in the channel here. So hit subscribe if you're interested. But the main point I wanted to communicate here is that we're really living an interesting time here on this time scale, because whatever happens here, if we find the support in the price levels on this part here, we have a tons of upside. And yeah, I'm happy to wait for these price levels because like when they kick in, it's gonna be phenomenal. And yeah, I actually have my own BTC positions aggregated already. I haven't been really buying more lately. More or less what I've been doing now is I've been buying altcoins. I've been looking to some interesting projects, and what I'm like, how I'm finding them, I'm using a tool called Token Metrics. I gotta say, actually, with the latest one that I sold, it was like 18x. I kind of paper-handed it. It was called Seek VR, CEEK VR, and yeah, I kind of paper-handed that one because the chart looked super parabolic, and I felt like, okay, like I'm gonna be rational here, and it seemed like I shouldn't have been, because I could have gotten like what, 200x or something. It's even now as we speak way higher than it was when I sold it. But what you gonna do? You gotta be satisfied with the stuff that you do and learn from your mistakes. But yeah, the tool that I use is called Token Metrics. If you want to see how I'm using the video and how the tutorial works, I'm gonna link it at the end of this video and probably to the top right corner here as well. But yeah, let's see how the markets go. I'm certainly bullish here on this price level, and I'll be aggregating my other positions as we go forward here. And just so you know, you can do this same kind of Fibonacci channel analysis now yourself, which is my goal here. So just be aware that when we go through these price levels at any point, that's where we are likely to see and get the parabolic phase kick starting, the absolutely only up arrow whenever it starts. It may be here, it may be here, it may be here. Just be aware that that's the time to start selling on some of your positions, because it's not guaranteed that the cycle goes all the way to 500k. It very well may. But as you saw from the first cycle that we looked at, the price, I think if we would put it on the perspective, it would have been ended here, because the top usually is after the top Fibonacci channel line here. So it would have ended around this area here, like on the current cycle, if it would be replicated as with the first one we looked at in this video. You can go back and see what I'm talking about there. But then there's the other case. If it looks anything like this one, the 2017 rally, we can go certainly a lot higher. So the main case for you to know is when we hit these price levels here that are in line with this line here, start to be not worried. Start to be cautious. Start dropping your positions a bit and start getting your start locking in your profits. Now we are still in the accumulation zone, and I'm certainly accumulating alts. And if you want to see how I'm using token metrics to do it, feel free to check the video at the end. So let's see where we go with this current price levels, and happy to talk to you in the next video. See ya!